Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and a puzzle by a debut, I think a pair of setters given the pseudonym here. This is in an email that came from Billy and Beth, who started with "Love your channel." That's a good way to carry favour. Although actually yesterday was a great day because Simon and I joined a team of competitors in DASH, which stands for Different Area Same Hunt. Takes place in 23 locations around the world. Only the slight majority are in the USA. As far afield as Taiwan, Singapore, Canada, Australia, and London. And there were over 300 players in London in teams of up to 5. And very well done to the organisers and indeed to the puzzle setters, because it was a really entertaining hunt. We went from location to location, solving different puzzles, and we had an absolutely great time. I think the results come out probably at the end of the week or something, I don't know for sure, but it was great fun. We did solve every puzzle, which was a delight, but there were some absolutely superb ones, and it was great to meet up with people. Marty Sears was there, no less, doing his first ever dash, I believe. I mean, there has been a gap of 4 years at least since they last did a dash, whenever COVID hadn't struck. Or since they last did one in London for sure. Maybe it's happened elsewhere. Yeah, and got to see other people I knew, and 2 or 3 people introduced themselves to us and took selfies and said they were fans of the channel. So it was a great day to feel the love, and great fun. So thank you very much, as I say, to the organisers. Well done to everybody who turned up and took part. I hope you had a good time as we did. And let's hope for more dashes in the future, or indeed other in-person puzzle hunts, because they are great fun. There was even a round of pencil puzzles, which included a Sudoku, although you couldn't actually do it as a Sudoku because the grid was entirely blank and it was just a classic, but it shared a grid with another puzzle and so on. Anyway, sort of thing that we thrive on the channel, I suppose. That was great fun. That was our yesterday, and about the 3rd time I've met with Simon this year. Thanks very much to Poulet Belette as well for sending some Canadian goodies. Poulet's a keen follower of the Connections videos on the channel and knows lots of things that that are in my ignorance area, especially about food and drink and Canada, and he's very generous, so he or she is very generous. That is something I had to say. So Connections is one of the things on Patreon, along with Blobs' marvellous Sudoku hunt based on Back to the Future. You can go to Patreon. If you join us there, you can give that a try and enter by the 20th to win the prize of solving along with Simon. And what else we got going on? We've got all sorts of goodies in our apps as well. There are Chess Sudoku, I think that's relevant to today, and Killer Sudoku, but many others, including Fog of War and The Worms by James Sinclair and Marty Sears. We had expected that the Michael Lefkowitz and Fistamafel worms would be out by now. I'm not sure that they are yet, but imminently. I still say imminently. And there's also SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD linked under the grid. But the first link in the description field is to this puzzle. It's called 3, 2, 1, Go by Billy Beth, who I believe are Billy and Beth. And the rules are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply, and that's going to be putting 1 to 9 in every row, column, and 3 by 3 box. As we can see, the given digits are fairly limited in terms of which digits they use. Only cells joined by a black dot are in a 2 to 1 ratio. Now that's a little joke. It's not that your eyes aren't letting you see the black dots. There are none. So that means that no 2 cells in the puzzle have a 2 to 1 ratio between them. So there are no possible black dots in the puzzle, a big old negative constraint. Digits in a cage sum to the total given, so those 2 add up to 12, and identical digits cannot appear in cells a chess king's move apart. So I get out my friend Mr. King, who tells me about that. No, that's the queen. This one is the king. There we are. He's going to sit on my desk and try and remind me when I forget that there's a king's move constraint, which means that, for instance, those two cells can't be the same. And that's it. That's all the rules. Don't know how long it's going to take. You can give it a try on the link under the video. I'm going to start my clock and say, let's get cracking. I can put a 3 in box 1 already because there are 4 3s pointing at that box, and that must always be the case, that you can enter the other one. 3 goes in box 6 as well. There's lots of 3s given. And then we're left with a little X-wing on 3s, which will not contravene the king's move rule because it'll either be that pair or that pair. See, I'm remembering the king's move rule already. Mr. King. Right, there's a 2 in one of those 2. There's a 2 in one of those 3, but it can't be in the 13 cage because there is no second digit you could put in there to add to 13. But you could put a... well no, this digit won't be a 2 because of the king's move. Oh, hang on, I'm sorry. For some reason I was assuming 2 had to be in one of those cells. That is not the case. 2 in box 6 is in one of those 2, given the digits we have. But, well, I am going to say that 2 can't go in this cell in the 11 cage because it would either, well, because it would force it out of that cell by ordinary Sudoku rules, but then it would force it into that cell and the king's move rule would be infringed. So this is not a 2-9 cage or a 3-8 cage. It's either 5-6 or 4-7. And this, no, yeah, this one can't have a 2 in either. King's move stops that. So again, that is the same, either 4-7 or 5-6. This one only has 2 possibilities because 3 has gone in the box. This is either 4-8 or 5-7. I don't know what's more important in this puzzle, the king's move rule or the negative constraint on black dots. What do you think? I don't know what to focus on. Let me just ponder this. One, well, okay, we've looked at 3s and 2s. I'm going to look at 1s because we are given 3 of them. But they don't extend very far through the grid. However, no 1s can appear in any of these cages, just because of their number, the totals in them. I don't know, it's hardly worth pencil marking 1s apart from the ones I can see. I mean, obviously that 1 by king's move doesn't work. Now I'm getting a bit confused. I don't know, we haven't got any 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 given. How on earth are we going to find what they are? We're going to be very dependent on these cages. It could be a big colouring puzzle. But I don't know how to go about it. This is strange. I haven't missed a rule. Oh, black dots. Okay, so 6 can never be sitting next to 3. So that's not a 6. Ah, right. So that's not a 6 and that's not a 6 in this column. So 6 is in one of those 2 cells in column 7. That is useful, because now 6 can't be in this cage, and it is a definite 4-7 cage. Which is quite interesting. It's nearly interesting. Because now I'm thinking about column 7 and where 4 and 7 can go. One of them can go in that cage, but the other one certainly can't go in those because of this 4-7 pair that we've just established. So it's in one of these 2 cells, and if it was there, we would know it would be there. I mean, it doesn't quite tell us anything. Let's carry on thinking about 6s not being able to be next to 3s. The 6 in box 3 is in one of those cells. I don't know, does it help? The other thing I hadn't thought about is 2s and 4s can't neighbour each other, and that applies here, so that can't be 4. Where is 4 in box 3? It's not there next to the 2. it almost has to be in the top row, but I think it could slip in there, but that would be a 4. 4 would be sitting not next to 2. I don't know, is there enough stuff going on in this puzzle to get anything? It's very odd. How do we, okay, let's focus on box 6, where we've got 2 and 6 pencil mark. 4, 7, 3, 1. 5, 8 and 9 are still to be placed. 5 and 9 are not really constrained by anything. 8 mustn't touch 4, but it's not really threatening. Oh, of course, 8 mustn't touch 4 in this cage. Oh, it's so obvious. Sorry, not to me. That is a 5-7 pair. So now there's a 7 in both cages. There must be a 7 in one of those cells. Now, 5, 7 there. So 4 in this column could still be in either place. But if that was a 4, with a 4 in one of these cells, there couldn't be a 4 next to the 2. That would be a 4. You'd get a 4 in one of those 3. 4 in the central box mustn't touch the 2, so it's in a corner of it. Yeah, in a King's Move puzzle, this becomes quite an interesting set of digits because they all see that cell. You know, there are these sorts of things going on in a King's Move puzzle. It's not really like a Knight's Move puzzle at all. 4, 7. I mean, I'm not finding anything yet, I admit. These other cages aren't affected by combinations that... No, it would only be a cage that was divisible by 3 that could be affected by 2 digits that could theoretically have a black dot. I mean, I should have been much quicker to see that this was a 5-7 cage. There is a 5 in one of those 2 cells in the box. So these either contain an 8 or a 9. If 4 was here in column 7, that has quite an impact on this box. That prevents 4 being in those cells, and it's already prevented from being in those. So 4 would be in one of those 2. No, I said this before, I'm going to say it again. I don't really know how to get much traction in this puzzle. Oh, but there are weird things. Look at this row. 4 can't go there because of the 2. So it goes in one of these cells. And using the King's Move, that prevents 4 being in either of those cells. Because they all of these 4 cells see those 2. And I mean, I can't really pencil mark that. That would involve making 4 a candidate for all of these. But it's still weird. So, am I meant to focus on 6s or 4s? In this box, in box 1, 6s can't touch 3s, so all of those are ruled out. That's not good enough. That's not helpful enough. If this was a 6-7 cage, 6 couldn't be here. That would be 6. That would force the 3s. I mean, I'm just speculating at the moment. I don't know what else to do. Four in box 9 is in one of those 3 cells. Goodness, I'm sorry. This is going to take a while. Okay, let's think about 2 can't be here or in those. I don't know if I mentioned that 2 couldn't be there. I've only just thought of it. I mentioned that 2 couldn't be there earlier, but 2 can't be there because those prevent it. So 2 is in one of these 3 cells in box 4. If it was here, that would be a 2, and that doesn't work because where would you put 2 in box 1? You'd have ruled out both of the possible cells if that was a 2. So that isn't a 2. So the 2 in box 4 is there. For some reason I thought it was going to be in one of those. That was wrong. That places 2 in box 6. Now, does it do anything else? The tiny thing it does is it prevents 4 being in one of these cells because it would be touching a 2. So 4 in row 4 has to now be in one of those 3. Is it a little bit interesting to consider 4 being in one of those 2, which makes that a 4 and means one of these 3 is a 4 but mustn't touch the 2 below? No, it's not. It's not interesting. Oh, goodness, I don't know how to proceed with this. But we did just get 1 digit from that latest bit of interest. Oh, that also stops 4 being here, that 2. Right. So 4 in column 7 has been found. And that makes that a 7 by the king's move and that a 4. And there's a 4 in this group that is not next to the 2. Now, 8 in this box cannot go in one of those cells. Goodness me, we are... Oh, 8 can't go there because of the 4. The 8's only got 1 place in this box. So once you start just getting a couple of 4s in the grid, suddenly you can do other things. If 8 is there, 5 is here, and this is a 6-9 pair, and the last digit in the column is an 8 there. And that won't be able to touch a 4 on its left, which hardly looks like it'll matter at the moment, but it probably will. 8 in this column is done. It's at the top. That's a 6-9 pair. This group of cells is now 4, 5, 7, and the central one can't be 4 because of the 2. And this pair is a 6-9 pair, and 3 is not helping resolve either of those. Nor the king's move. King's move is looking from 5 to there. Ah, it's so weird, this. You have to consider everything, don't you, all the time. I mean, that's quite appropriate. It's what a puzzle should be like, but I'm finding it quite hard. Right. 1 can't touch 2. I hadn't been thinking about that at all. I'd only been thinking about 2 not being able to touch 4, but 1 and 2 have a double relationship, a theoretical black dot. So 1 in the central box is in one of those 2 cells, and that's been oh, sorry, it's not in both of them, it's in one of them. That's been available probably since the beginning of the puzzle, and I hadn't seen it. Never mind. 1 is in one of those 2 cells in box 4 as a consequence. And 8 in box... Oh no, 8 can sit next to 2. It's 4 that can't. Oh, I find this hard. Now, if 1 was there, that would force this to be 2. Now, that would force all the 2s, but I don't think that would break anything. But I haven't thought about 1 not being able to be next to 2. And I need to give that a little bit of consideration now. 1 can't be in those cells. So it's somewhere there. Brilliant. We know that 1 is in one of these cells, and that means 1 can't be here because of the king's move, not the other rule. So one of these is a 1 in box 2. So if that was a 1, that would be a 1, and then we'd have to have a 1 here to avoid the 1 at the bottom. And then what else would we get? We'd get a 1 in one of those 2. That would be a 1, though, on the king's move here. Come on. Yes, and it does fail. Beautiful. Right. That is a complex fail, though, but I'm still taking it. If this was a 1, that would be the only place for 1 in box 2. And 1 would have to be here in column 6. Now, this 1... Yeah, okay, it doesn't matter about the column 6 one. That 1 creates a 1 there. And that suddenly prevents 1 being in any of those cells. But 1 is also prevented by this postulated 1 from being in either of those cells. And there is nowhere for it in column 3 because it can't go in the 13 cage. It's too little. So that is not a 1. That is a 1. And that is a complex deduction. Now, 1 can't sit next to the 2 here. So it's in one of those, one of those 3. Sorry, I keep hitting the wrong key. It didn't actually, placing this 1 didn't resolve any of these and didn't resolve any 2s and didn't really do any blooming good at all. And that's quite annoying because I thought when I was coming up with that deduction, well, this will move us. It really didn't. Oh, here's a thing. 1 cannot be in one of those 2 cells because it would be with a 2 in those 2 cells themselves. And therefore, in this box, it's in one of those 2, and indeed diagonally opposite the 2, because it can't be vertically adjacent. Anyway, this can't be 1 anymore, and now one of these definitely is a 1. And that doesn't do anything either. Right, let's think about this diagonally adjacent business, because that might do some work. It does, straight away. If that was a 1, that would be a 2, and then look in this box. You couldn't have 1 there or 2 there. They'd have to be next to each other, touching, and that's no good. So that is not a 1. I mean, this is some very interesting logic. The combination of this negative constraint on 2-to-1 ratios and King's move has impact that you just wouldn't expect, I think. Anyway, that 2 fixes 2 in box 1 and the last 2 in the grid in box 4. And of course that doesn't deal with the 1s. We're still left with this problem of 1s, and the 1 in box 1 could be in any of those 3 cells. Okay, that is also a feature of the puzzle. Getting a deduction in this puzzle doesn't advance you very much. That's distressing, but let's try and use what we've done. The fact that we've put 2s in some places, it stops this being a 4. That's been stopped for being a 4 for a long time that I hadn't noticed. This one can't be, stops row 6, column 2 being a 5. So we're down to 2 possibilities here, but they feature each of the 2 ways the cage could be made up. So that's all right, but not brilliant. Now, this digit can't be a 1, 2, 3, 8. It touches 5 and 7. It's not allowed to be a 4. So that is 6 or 9. And that forms a pair in row 1. Everything else in row 1 is from 1, 4, 5, or 7. The 4 can't be next to the 2, so it has to be in one of these 2 cells. Oh, how about the 4 in this row? That can't be next to the 2 either. Oh, it can't be next to that 2. It's placed. Now there is a 4 in one of these. No, can't be next to the 2. One of these 2 cells. And that means neither of these can be a 4. Is that useful? No. It means 4 can't be next to the 8 either. So 4 in row 7 is now in one of these 2 places. But yes, I'm in business here. I can place 4 in this box. Look, all of those are ruled out by the 4s I've done, and it can't be there. So 4 is there. One of these is 4. It can't sit next to the 8. 4 is in one of those 2. And now in this row, there is only one place for 4. It can't be in those because of these 4s, or these cells, one of which is 4. So it is there at the end. Out of the way, sadly. But one of these is 4. That can't be 4. So in box 7, 4 is in one of these cells. Now, where's 8? Trying to stay away from that 4. I don't know, but somewhere. Useful deduction, isn't it? 8 is somewhere in this box, an absolute knowledge bomb. I just wish I knew where. I don't. And I still have to remember about 3 not touching 6, which I've barely used in ages. Oh, it's quite tough. It's good stuff, Billy Beth. 4 in row 2 is in one of those two. 4, I'm saying, is in one of these 3. Okay, is that interesting for 8, which now can't be in those cells? Very slightly. I mean, it means that 8 in box 1 is now in one of that group of cells, and they all see this one, so that can't be an 8. So 8 in box 2 is now restricted to those two. It can't sit there next to the 4. I mean, it doesn't quite do anything yet again, but these interactions are absolutely bizarre. 8 can't be in those two cells because of the 4. So it's somewhere there. Down here, 8 can't be in either of those two because they would be with a 4, and they can't be there by Sudoku. Right. 8's in one of those 3 cells, and since it's in one of those two, that's a virtual X-wing. And now the 8 in column 6 has to be in box 5, and it can't touch that 8 by King's move. So I get to put an 8 in the grid. And if tradition plays, if this goes as it has, that's going to give me nothing. But it does give me something, because now 8 and 4 have to be in this group of cells, and they mustn't touch. They have to be chaperoned by a digit in the middle. And that is clearly, therefore, a 6. Separating 4 and 8, and this might get us somewhere. 7 is there. 6 in this box can't touch the 6, can't abut the 3, and must therefore be in one of these cells. Now we've got 6 into one of these two. This cage can't contain a 4 or a 6. So it must be a 5-8 pair, and that 8 resolves it. That's not quite... I mean, it's the last cage in which we had to put things. That 5-7 still have to be resolved, but we're making progress now. This is a 6-7 pair by Sudoku. This is a 4-9 pair. We know the order because 2 can't sit next to 4. And that fixes 6 and 9 over here. These are now a 1-3-7 triple. How do the rules apply to them? I don't know, but... that can't be 1 by Sudoku, and it can't be 3 by King's move. So it's a 7. And I've got a 3 up there, so they're all resolved. Good. This 7-6 pair and this 7-5 pair are not resolved. I've got an 8 to put in the box, and that lets me put 4 not next to the 8. This is a very good puzzle. 6 can't be there. Oh, this is what, look, first of all, I'm going to pencil mark 5, 6, 9. 6 is not allowed to be next to the 3. 5 is not allowed to touch that cell, so it's a 9. Neither of these can be a 9, and there my logic runs out. Right, 3, 7, 9 here, but 3 by King's move has to be there. 7 and 9 go in. These are 5 and 6. And now I've got a 5-6 pair in this column, and that's a 7, and that fixes where 8 goes, thanks to the work I did earlier. This is 5, 6, or 9. What is it not allowed to be? I don't know. I mean, I think this is all done, but I haven't actually understood it. This can't be 6 by Sudoku, so it's 5 or 9. These are from, 5 it can't be by, so that's a 9, good. These are 1 and 5, 5 there, 1 there. That's now sorted out 6 and 5 in box 5. That's going to sort out 6 and 5 in box 8. 9 and 6 are resolved here. The 6-5 pair here sorted out all the things with 7s in at the bottom. And we've got the bottom 6 rows done. So, this can't be 5. We've got a 6-9 pair here. There are probably rules popping all over the place. This is a 1-5 pair, and we've got the King's move to resolve them. That stops either of these being a 1, puts 1 in the corner. I am glad I did the pencil marking earlier. That's where 4 goes in the box. Still don't know which one is 6. This must be a 9 to complete the column. That's going to sort out all my 6, 9 pairs, which is nice. And we've got 6 and 7 here. And then 5 and 8 to finish off. And that, oh no, that is not going to work. I've got 2 7s in this column. So I've just done something wrong recently. Let's try and unwind and find that. I say recently because I don't think I had any problems until I got to the top 3. So let's just go back to where I filled in the 5s and 6s. I was a bit surprised this 159 was so fully resolved by the 5. Let's try it again. 5 goes there. That's 1, that's 9. This is 6, that's 5. This is 6, that's 5. I mean, this still... I mean, I could have made a mistake. Very, very, very possible. I do that on a painfully regular basis. 7 and 6 there. These are going to be 5 and 8. Sorry, these two are going to be 5 and 8. That seems to work. 7 and 5. Haven't resolved the 6 9s yet. Oh, I have by that 6. Is this actually going to work? No, it's not. I've got 2 7s in this row. So the mistake has occurred earlier. Oh, bother. Bobbins. Absolute tripe. No doubt it happened just when I was picking up the pace and getting somewhere. I liked that 864 deduction. That was good. And that put a 7 there. Then I said that this couldn't have a 4 in it. And I also claimed it couldn't have a 6 in it. Yeah, 6 can't go there because of the 3 and it can't go there because of the 6. Okay, I think that is fair enough. This is a 6-7 pair. This is 9 and 4. I'm just going to recapitulate this till something goes wrong because I don't quite understand where I made a mistake. I mean, I probably did. 6 and 9 here. It all looks very similar. 1, 3, 7 here, and one of them I said couldn't be this one. C's a 1 and a 3, so that was 7. That makes this 3. 7 and 9 here, resolved by the king's move. And a 5, 6 pair. All looks annoyingly familiar now. 8 has to be there. That can't be next to 4. Everything that I'm saying feels absolutely identical. We can place 7. Oh, that 8 that I figured out earlier. No, it's got to be right. This digit is 6 or 9. That's 5 or 6. That's 5 or 6. This is 9. I just can't see what I'm getting wrong. And of course that might mean that the mistake happened a long time ago, but the logic felt really good up to this 864 thing. I mean, the trouble is I'm just destined to repeat my error if I can't see what I did wrong before. And have I already got an impossibility? I haven't repeated 7 in that row. I haven't got anything repeated in that row, this version. Have I got a digit somewhere that 6 there, this is 7. Yeah, no, that is the problem. This digit now. How has this happened? It must have happened much earlier. Oh, I hate having to do this. I'm so sorry, Billy and Beth. This is making me feel very stupid, but I must have pencil marked something wrong long ago or put something wrong in the grid. Oh, I liked this 1, 2 deduction. 1 and 2, I got to this point, I thought this was good. I said 1 couldn't be there because that would force this to be 2 on the black dot. And that would force 2 and 1 next to each other there. So instead 1 has to be here, that has to be 2. Let's try it from here. That fixes 2 at the top, which stops that being a 1. That's probably not interesting. It fixes 2 there. It didn't fix the 1s here. That's fine. Now, I'm really back in the same boat again. This can't be 5, so that can't be 6. This can't be 4, so that can't be 7. Not impossible that I mismarked this cage, but now we had this thing with 4s and 8s here. How did that occur? So I said, where's 4 in this row? Mustn't touch a 2, so it's there. Now 4's definitely in one of these 3 cells, can't touch a 2, so it's in one of those 2. Oh, maybe I did the thing with 8s, but 8 can't be in those cells. Yeah, maybe I overreached on where 8s can be somehow. Trouble is, I can't remember exactly what I did. Well, I mean, that might be a good thing because I have to redo this then, almost from scratch, and that's probably appropriate. And maybe I won't come up with that deduction about 4 and 8 having to be chaperoned anymore. Maybe that was a mistake. 4 can't be in those cells. Oh, I came up with something that said 4 couldn't be here. Now, what was that? I don't remember. 1 is in one of those cells and 3 is. It will be very... Oh, 4 in box 2 has only 1 cell. And that places the 1. Well, that gets a lot done. 1 there, 1 here. 4, 4. One of these is a 4 and it can't sit next to the 8. That is exactly what I did. So 4's in one of those cells. 4 in this row now can't be in that box. Can't be in those 2 because of that, and it goes here. I know I'm not doing anything different from last time yet, but hopefully somewhere I've made a mistake and I won't remake it. We can hope. If you saw what it was before, you're just going, well, you probably are going to do it again. Now, one of those is 4, and therefore they can't have 8 amongst them. So one of these is 8. Then I got to... When did I get to this cage? That was after something to do with 8s. But I don't want to just recapitulate what I did. I want to have a better version this time. Is it to do with 6s, which can't go next to the 3? 8 is in one of those 2 cells. I remember marking that before. It was near the breaking point before, annoyingly. 4 can't be there or there. 4 is in one of these. We know that. We know that. It doesn't help. 3 is in one of those 2, so 6 can't be here. That's not what we did. We've got 1 in one of those 2. All the 1s, 2s, and the 1s and 2s. Oh, no, 1 is finished. Ugh, got that 1 there. Right. 1s and 2s are now finished. 3s are going to include one of these each. That's fine. 4s are not at all finished. So, I don't know how I did make progress before, so maybe that gives me a chance not to make the same mistake again. Right, 8 can't be in either of those cells because they would be with a 4, and it can't be there by that. So 8 is now in one of these 2, and that's not how I did this before, so that might be helpful. Then 8 can't be here or here. 8 in box 7 is in one of those 2. Four in box 7 is in one of those 3. can't be touching the 2. Now, what does that mean? That means this digit, no, it doesn't really mean anything. If 4 was there, that would be 8. If 8 was here, that would be 4. But this might be neither. You might have 4 and 8 in those positions. Hopefully this is where I overreached last time and did something wrong, and I'm going to have to find a better way that is correct this time. I really thought I was close to a finish before, and I was nowhere near it. So pride comes before a fall, hubris and all that. Okay, 6 can't be in those cells, or there, or here. 6 can't be in those. It's worth doing this. Where else can't 6 be? Can't be there because it would be touching a 3. Okay, 8 in the, that didn't really work. 8 in the central box can't be there for the 4, and it can't be there for the king's move. So 8 in the central box is in one of those 3 places. Oh no, we worked out that we've ruled out 8 from these cells. That one because of the 8, this one because it joins the 4. Yes, we placed 8. 8 can't be there or there because of the 4s, and it can't be here by the king's move. So it is here in the central box. Now I feel I'm doing exactly the same thing all over again. That gives me an 8 here. This can't be a 4 anymore, so that has to be a 6. Do you know what? I put 6, 7 in this cage, didn't I? That's what I did wrong, because I'm a muppet who can't count, can't add up to 11. That's a 5. That's what I did wrong, and you saw it, and you said, what are you doing? And you were right. Okay, well, it's going to be more straightforward now. 4... This can't be 8 because it would put 4 there. So that's the 8 in the box. And this is not an 8. And that goes in a cage with 5. And my maths is right this time. Now I can do 9 and 7. Honestly, it is embarrassing. I know, but, you know, I've been using the old noggin quite a lot over the weekend. And this hasn't worked either, because that last digit I put in should have been a 6. Right, that can't go next to 3, so the 3s are here. Okay, stop talking about something else and doing this, just focus on the puzzle. I was going to plead that the dash had taken it out of me, and I mean, as nonsense as that is, who knows? I do feel the shame that I deserve to, I promise. 4 is in one of those, 8 is in one of these, 5 is in one of those. Oh, this can't be a 6 because of the 3. So the only place for 6 in the row is there. That's a 9. That is 7 or 9 by Sudoku. Now, 8 here has not been finalised. I don't think there's much hard work to do. I just need to do what little there is. Right, that digit has to be the same as that because of the king's move. And that must also appear here in columns 4, 5, 6. So that one is not an 8. This is where 8 goes in box 2 now. That fixes 8, which mustn't touch 4. So that fixes 4 and 5 here, and the last digit is a 9 in the box. I mean, I know I haven't done the 6, 7 pair, but now I have 7, 6, 5, 7, 5, 6, 7 or 9 there. That's a pair in this column, and we've got 5 and 4 to put in at the bottom. This has become a 7 in its column. 9, I could use the king's move, although I didn't have to. This to finish the column is a 7. That's where 8 goes, and this is a 6 in the center of the box. And that fixes 6 in column 1. And here we go. This is a more successful solution than the one I was attempting earlier because I couldn't add up to 11. Anyway, thank you very much, Billy and Beth. That is a great puzzle. It's really clever. I mean, it's really good, but I've made a bit of a muppet of myself over that cage and not spotting that that was the error I'd made. Very embarrassing. I wonder if I did it twice. Not impossible as well. Utterly awful, but there we go. We'll see you again next time. Thank you for watching, at least, on Cracking the Cryptic. It's a pleasure to be with you, even if it exposes how poor I am. We'll see you again, and bye for now.